Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Elizabeth, the maker behind Angel's Cottage, and this podcast, like all the other podcasts, is long overdue. Um, so before we jump into it, let me tell you where you can find me. You can find me on Instagram as Angel's Cottage. You can find me on Ravelry as Arcania, and you can find me on Etsy as Angel's Cottage Shop. All right. So first, we're going to start off with finished objects. And let's see, I'm going to have to throw these on blockers real quick, so just give me 1 second. Okay. First up, we have these vanilla socks in Finding Your Familiar and Meadow Grass. And the pattern is just a vanilla sock. I did an afterthought heel to make it faster for myself. These are for my husband. It's part of the secret operation I can no longer talk about because he watches the videos and I'm pretty sure he knows what it is. Um, anyway, so it's a vanilla sock, size large, 72 stitches, and then the yarn is, I already said the name, but the designer name is, or dyer name, cheese and crackers, you guys. Dyer name is Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co. And this is on her Enemies to Lovers base, which is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. And so that is finished object number 1. Finished object number 2, if you watched my other video, Google Picks, my projects, this was one of the ones that he picked. And this is the Kindling Sock by Lindsay Fowler. And then the yarn is Rage by Red Door Fiber Studio from her D&D collection. And of course, this is supposed to be a longer sock, so I made it a shorty. There's a garter ridge right here, and then there's ribbing all down here. And I did a German short row heel, which I am obsessed with now. I didn't mind the heel flap and gusset when I was making those, but they're not my favorite because to me it feels like there's a lot to keep track of. Afterthought heel is easier because you just kind of like mark where you want to put your heel or don't, and then you just keep going. And with this one, I can visually keep track, so I don't need a stitch counter or row counter on my finger while I'm doing it, and I can just cruise along and get it done. So my new favorite heel. But that is finished object number 2. The next one, I'm gonna have little baggies with socks everywhere. The next one is another yarn by Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co. My next one is another yarn by Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co. on the same base, so 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. And this one is Besom and Birch Bristles. And again, vanilla sock, afterthought heel, size large for my husband. Next one is another yarn by Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co. And this one is Alter and Candle Flow. And this one was actually String of Lights. I don't know if you can see that. It's a broken rib there. But again, I decided to do different things for my super secret project. But yeah, I did a size large afterthought heel on this one as well. And this was really pretty to knit up. Hang on, let me just put this away. The next one, it's going to look unfinished, but all I have to do is Kitchener the toe on the second sock and it's done. So, the one that needs the Kitchener. But this is a vanilla sock with a German short row heel. And the heel toe cuff is Sorella Givenchy. And then this is Area 51 Fibers in A New Hope, I believe it is. It's their Star Wars self-striping colorway that they put out. And again, vanilla socks, size large. They're for my husband, so there is that. The next pair is a pair for me, and this is a vanilla sock with a German short rail heel, and the heel toe, wait, heel toe cuff is Sea Oats by Sorella Yarn, and then the rest of it is Area 51 self striping in ER, based off of the show ER. Yeah, vanilla sock, size medium, so 64 stitches. Um, and then the final pair is one that is long overdue for completion. I don't know. I think I've shown this on the podcast maybe last year, but maybe not. I don't know. Either way, these are my Autumn Crush socks. And this is, um, ooh, Sorella yarn and Epcot. And then the heel and toe was in one of a kind from, she called herself a Yarn Addict Co. She now calls herself a Little Fiber Co. But it was a lovely cable work sock. The designer is Twin Stitches Designs. I'll have all the information listed and linked below for you. So look at the project page, and then you should be able to find it from there if you use Ravelry. But yeah, I'm really happy with how these turned out. It was my first time doing cables, and I kind of like it. So I might see more of these in the future. Just cable socks in general, not that specific one. Um, so now let's move into works in progress. First up, we have my Toasty. I can't remember what it looked like the last time I showed it on here, but here we are. All I need to do is pick up the sleeves and knit the sleeves and then block it, and this baby is done. And I'm so happy. I think the neckline, I might have to maybe put some elastic in there to cinch it up. I'm sorry, the words were escaping me. Cinch it up because it is kind of like a square neckline, but it's kind of like a more out than I would normally want. So we'll see. The plan is to try and get this done for Flock, and Flock is looming. Oh, I guess I forgot to mention. Hold on, let's go back to that. I completed so many socks, not just because it's been so long since the last podcast. I can't remember the last time I did a podcast. Not a good sign. But part of that is because of Sock Week this year. So I haven't really been participating in summer sock camp this year. I fully intended on it, but other things have just pulled my attention, and basically we'll get to that. But of course, the Tulsa being one of them. What ended up happening was I didn't cake anything up because I didn't want it to be wound up and just waiting for me to use it, and me not knowing when I'll be able to use it. But I reached a point with some of my projects where I felt okay to pick up socks again, and like this in particular was a second sock. It was like maybe through the gusset or past the heel. So it wasn't like I cast this whole pair on, you know what I mean? In a lot of cases I did. Um, like these And the other self-striping one I did for my husband, for sure, these were cast on because these and the kindling socks were part of my Google video, which I did not that long ago. And then I think it was like 2 weeks ago actually. And then some of these other ones were ones that I finished before sock week, but basically three, I think I did 3 pairs during sock week. I can't remember now. Um, but sock week, if you don't know, is a make along that's put on every year by Nitty Natty on Instagram. And it's a week to make a sock, as in a singular sock. Some people like me go a little crazy and make pairs of socks, but for every single sock, you get an entry into um, a prize pool so that you can win prizes. That's not why I did it. I did it because I did it last year and I surprised myself by making a pair of socks in like a week. I think it was. I had knit an entire sock in 3 days, which was crazy for me at the time. Um, but this year, yeah, I just went kind of bananas. And it's really telling to the things that are going on in my life. I don't know how else to really say it without getting too into it, but um, yeah, I was able to complete a lot of those during sock week, and to me, that's wild. I totally forgot that it was sock week, by the way, and I think it started on like Sunday at midnight or Saturday night at midnight, so it would be Sunday morning for most folks, and it was all based around your own time zone because obviously people from around the world participate in this event, and of course she has sponsors every year, and you get bonus entries and whatnot if you use the products from the sponsors. I was not able to do that this year, so I just kind of used what I had. But anyway, um, I totally forgot. And I think by like Tuesday or Wednesday, I was like, oh, it's sock week. So then I really kind of hunkered down and got going making socks. So um, that's not typical for me. And I know that if you've followed my podcast for a while, you know that. I am on a mission though that I can't really talk about because, as I stated earlier, my husband watches this now. So um, I'm trying to get to a point where I don't have to, oh my God, panic and make a bunch of things before that time comes. So that was what I wanted to say about why so many socks, and kind of I do agree with you. That is a lot, and it has been a while for the podcast, but Sock Week, which was like 2 weeks ago, maybe, is a big reason why. As for summer sock camp, the rest of the summer sock camp goes until August 31st, I believe it is. If I make a sock and finish socks, that's what it's for, I guess. But like, I'm not really trying for that right now. I have, surprisingly, other things that I'm trying to work on and get finished, which the Tulsa tee is one of them. This has a tight deadline. I need this done by Flock, and Flock is August 10th, so it's rapidly approaching. Sorry, there was a fluff. It's rapidly approaching, so hopefully I can get that squared away. All I need to do really is the sleeves, so it should be fine, but we'll see. Next is my Carlisle test. Hang on, she's tangled on something else here. Okay. So this is my oh, Carlisle DK test sweater in Smoke Show by Treehouse Knits, and I'm doing it in tweed. And the pattern is by Maddie Moe. She has two different versions, and I'm doing the raglan one. So there's a increased raglan part right here, as opposed to the other one has a saddle shoulder design, and so it comes out to about here on the sleeve, and then it forms the shoulder. Um, And I'm on the ribbing down here. Don't know if you can really see that. Yeah, see, it was curling in on itself. I'm on the ribbing down here, and basically this is going to be like a folded hem, kind of like the collar up here. So that's where I'm at. I actually haven't picked this up in a while because Maddie made an announcement that she needed to press pause on this test knit, and uh, there was no rush. So I set this aside in favor of doing other things. I will finish this. This is I guess the Tulsa tee is the furthest I've ever gotten on a garment, but this is a sweater, whereas the other one is a tee. So this is the furthest I've ever gotten on a sweater, and so I am determined to finish it. I made sure not to make that my goal this year because I think it was my goal last year was to successfully knit a sweater, and I have struggled all year in between sock knitting and things, and I didn't want to put that kind of pressure on myself this year, so I didn't. But here we are. So we'll see. My next whip is also a test knit, and this one makes me sad. I'll explain why in just a second. This is the Sprinkle DK test knit, and I'm using Dusk by Sorella Yarn and Three Little Words by Woolberry Fiber Co. And the reason that this makes me sad, it's a beautiful like motif, but she has two versions, and I originally applied to test for version A. The reason that this makes me sad is because she has two different versions of this sweater, view A and view B. And when I applied for view A, and I ended up offering to do view B for her because she had filled the slot for my size for view A. And she said I could test view A, but I decided I wanted to be helpful and I would do view B. And I have some feelings about that now. For reasons unknown to me, I'm struggling with this. I should be much further than this. The deadline is rapidly approaching and I'm scared. If I had done the other view, I would have been much further or done by now because the color work doesn't start for some time. This one, the color work starts immediately and you're doing increases at the same time that you're keeping track of a color work chart. And while I'm able to keep up with that, I'm having focus problems. I'm pretty positive it's me, not the pattern, because no one else has come across any of the issues that I seem to be running into, but I'm going to have to rip this out and start again. And that's all right. I'm truly looking at it as practice and I'm growing my skills. So I don't mind too much. I just hope that I'm able to get this done in time or really close to the deadline. But yeah, that is another one of my whips. The next one is this big old bad boy. And oh, it's getting heavy. Where is the stitch marker from last time? Hold on. Okay, here we are. This is where we were last time. We have since closed the ring and gone around. So, I'll just kind of show you some colors here. It's really difficult. But this is the second of the last ring. Did I close? I think I closed it. So right now there's not an open ring going on, like not one that I'm working. Oh my gosh, this is so heavy. But it's big. Let me see if I can stand up and show you. No, it's just not gonna all get in the frame. I already know. But I only have one more ring round to go. And then this will be done. So this is the pattern that I made up for, these types of little hexagons. And I have already stated it's very unlikely that I will be releasing it. So I apologize for that. But it's just, I don't want problems. Don't want problems. So, yeah. Um, but a lot of these were scraps, and then quite a few, like these really bright ones here, are advents, and like even these two darker moody ones were advents. And I wanted to put them in here. Once this is done, I will probably start another blanket like this, and some of these colors might be repeated in there, but it won't be a hexagon blanket. I should say that it's more or less going to be like a scrappy blanket. Um, but yeah, I picked this up again when it was cooler. It's been hot because hello summer. Ugh. Not a summer person, but yeah, it's been hot, so I haven't picked this up for a minute. Um, but yeah, that is almost done. And then my last one, I have one finished one here, but this is my birthday socks. I cast these on for my birthday. It reminds me of a funfetti cake, so I made stripy funfetti type socks. Let me see, I should put it on a blocker here. Not doing anybody any favors by not putting it on a blocker where we can really see it. And I can hold it better. That's better, wouldn't you say? Okay, so um these are all Mama Jess Knits colorways. This is speckled rainbow, and then she had I think it was seven, seven mini skein set that I don't know if she has it. She hasn't had it for a long time. I've been sitting on this sock set for a year or longer, and I kind of knew I was gonna do stripy socks, but once I started making it, I started doing my own thing, and I put the speckly ones in between, sort of like frosting on a cake, and then that's when these sort of turned into my birthday socks. Aside from the fact I cast these on my birthday, so yeah, that's what that looks like. I haven't cast on the second one yet, but we'll get there. So now it's acquisitions. I have some stuff, not a lot, but it has been a while, like I always say. So first and foremost, we'll start with Disney Attraction Club. Hold on, these are gonna roll away. Disney Attraction Club by Fangirl Fibers. This one was for, I believe this one was supposed to be May. It says on the tag March, but I'm pretty sure this was May. And this is Kilimanjaro Safari. Now, Fangirl Fibers Disney Attraction Club is based off of different attractions or rides at Disney parks. Some of them, like this one, I think is specific. Let me look at the insert. Specific to Florida. Sometimes it's like the next one I'm going to show you, and they have them in almost all of them. So that is Kilimanjaro Safari. Beautiful. The next one is June's colorway, and this one is Mad Tea Party, and I kind of love it. And it's the Mad Tea Party has been an opening attraction at Disneyland, Magic Kingdom, Tokyo Disney, Disneyland Paris, and Hong Kong Disneyland. The only Disney park that has been made that didn't have this as an opening attraction, meaning it was there when they opened the park, was Shanghai Disneyland. Don't ask me if they have it now, because I don't know, but this is pretty. So that. And then, hang on. Let's do the Daddy Club from Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co. And this was, I believe, May's Daddy. I haven't gotten, uh, there was a water issue over by where she lives, and they were not able to use their water for like almost a month. So she wasn't able to dye yarn. And so June and July are, I believe, on their way to me together, but I haven't gotten them yet. I'll be getting them right before I leave for flock, I'm sure. But this is Deep Sea Daddy and Atlantean, and oh my god, I I can't even. I love it. It's such a beautiful dark green, and I love how this one is kind of like dark and light and different tones of green. So that is that one. And then next up, I got Yarnable. I should say, I'm still subscribed to Yarnable. I just have been skipping months. There is a way to look ahead at your, like, I guess the main skein, because it doesn't show anything else. And you can decide if you want to, like, let your subscription renew or skip a month. And that's what I've been doing. Last year, I didn't do that because I didn't think of that. But I just decided this year that I have so much yarn. You've seen some of it, some of the craziness. It's not all of it. We're not going to go there. But I just decided that I should be a little bit more selective. So, like all of these are going to get made into a blanket, maybe 2 or 3. It just kind of depends. And then the daddy ones, I'm mostly probably going to make them into stocks, but I can make them in other things. So it just depends. But back to Yarnable. So Yarnable is a monthly subscription service, and they have lots of options, including they have fingering or DK, and you can get 2 skeins of fingering or 2 skeins of DK, or you can do what I do, which is the deluxe. It's 1 skein of fingering and then like half a skein of fingering. So, yeah, I'm really probably not doing a good job describing it this time around because I haven't had to do this in a while. But anyway, this was, I believe it was July's. So first and foremost, cotton candy pop rocks, and I probably have had, but I can't recall having cotton candy pop rocks. My kids have never had, so I thought that would be a fun thing to say for them. And then there's a lovely star stitch marker by Manchester Knits. Monster Knits? Maybe it's Monster. Oh, I'm so sorry. Anyway, that's really cute. And then they gave us try-on cords. And as someone who's recently making a ton of sweaters, here I'll kind of show you. So I think the red ones are the 2 small ones for like the sleeves, and then this is the blue one is to try it on. But as someone who's recently making more and more garments or attempting to, I don't have enough try-on cords, so that was really great for me. And then the skein and a half. So this is Oh My Stars. And Shine Bright. And this is on their plush sock base, which is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. The Fantasy Fiber Yarn Co. Daddy Club is the same base, 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. And then Fangirl is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. Okay, and then this isn't really a subscription, but it is a club kind of. So I signed up for EKF's Explore Knit Fiber Element Club, and I missed out on air. They had such a small amount for that, and I probably spaced out because that's like what I do. But I was able to get the water one, and I'm kicking myself as I knew I would be when I ordered it. I ordered one. I wanted to order three. I absolutely should have ordered three, but I didn't. So here we are. But this is the skein. I think it's quite lovely. And then this is the art print. I believe she said that Darren made this art. I'm not sure if I'm wrong. I will fix it up here. But lovely. I didn't get the stitch marker because I don't know. I just didn't. I think I was trying to rush and check out because I didn't want to miss out this time. And then I ordered this a while ago. This is Fangirl Fibers Rebellions Are Built on Hope Doodle Kit. And there's two doodle charts in here that are kind of Star Warsy. But yeah, hopefully you can see that through the plastic. But this is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, DK weight. They're half skeins, so it's 126 yards. And this was a mystery when you ordered it. Her and I think Fangirl Fibers or maybe other dyers that I'm not sure of have been doing that this year with the doodle kits. They've been kind of doing mystery ones, and I was torn between Fangirl Fibers, the Rebellion one, or Yarnosaurus had an Osaka one. I hope I'm saying that right because I haven't actually watched the cartoons or the show. I need to get on that. I can't call myself a Star Wars fan if I haven't done that, but trust it's on the to do. Mystery Kit was what she had, and I was torn, but I ended up going with this one because I thought I would play it safe, and I'm not really disappointed. I like it, so I'll have to figure out some kind of a doodle to make with that, and then most recently, I got my Explorer Knits and Fibers. She did a summertime serotonin and summertime sadness collection, and I was able to get some of these extra sprinkles on Rocky's DK. So it's 100% superwash merino, 274 yards per skein, and I got quite a few of those to make a Carlisle. I know, I'm obsessed. Anyway, my mom asked me for a pair of socks that were self-striping in Giants colors, and so I went to Tumbleweed Yarn to order this, and I believe this is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It was a sock set, and it's called Boo, but it has black, white, gray, and orange, and those are the Giants colors, so I'm going to make her a pair of socks. And lastly, from Area 51 Fibers, let me pull these out real quick. Area 51 Fibers, she did a magic update, and it had Disney type characters on it, and I got Mater and Mickey and Minnie. And then these are going to be socks. She had some other ones that I ended up missing out on, and I'm so sad. But that's okay. I'm glad to get these ones. Yeah. Those are half skeins, by the way, so I kind of like that. So that's it for acquisitions. Lastly is reading, listening, and watching. I was gonna say I'm not watching anything, but that's not true. I'm watching Gossip Girl at night. And I'm finding it oddly comforting. I used to watch this show back when it was coming out, and obviously I've finished it, but I wanted to do a rewatch of the old one before I started the one that I think HBO Max did, or HBO in general, did a reboot. recently, and I wanted to watch that. I have no idea if that's still going on or what, but I'm working my way up to it. Um, Reading, I finished the House Witch 2 by Delamott, so now I'm gonna finish the third one, or start reading the third one. It's probably gonna take me forever. You can hear me talk about it a lot. It's cozy and like there's nothing wrong with that. I like cozy mysteries and things of that nature, but for some reason, and it's not to say that this one isn't interesting. I just don't like go for that book when I'm trying to read. I have book club books that I'm reading and audiobooks that I'm listening to, um, like on the side or what have you. But yeah, uh, currently I'm we just finished The Ever King by L.J. Andrew, I believe. I'll put the picture up here. And that was really good. We're now reading The Ever Queen, I believe that's what it's called. And it's by the same author. It's a duology, so it picks up where the other one left off. And I'm only 12, I think I'm actually 18% into the book. I'm only supposed to be about a quarter of it for book club tomorrow, so right on schedule with that. And I'm just curious to know what's going to happen. They left us on a really big cliffhanger in the first book, so curious. Um, I've been listening to audiobooks from the library, and I finished Hooked by Emily McIntyre and Scarred by Emily McIntyre. And those are, I think it's called the Never After series, and they've been really interesting. Um, it's kind of a retelling of, I don't want to say Disney stories because Disney doesn't typically own these stories, but kind of. Hooked was a retelling of Peter Pan and Wendy, and obviously Hook and Smee were there, but it was really interesting because uh, they weren't in Neverland, they were in like modern times, and Wendy was always looking out for her little brother, and her dad was Peter Pan instead of whoever was Peter Pan in the actual story. Um, or I should say her father, whoever was her father in the actual story. And then Hook comes across as a villain, but he's not? Question mark. But yeah, and then Scarred was a retelling of The Lion King, but they were humans, and the main character is a female, and she's sent in there to uh, overthrow the kingdom, and I don't know, it's just kind of interesting. That's pretty much it. That's what I've been up to lately. Yeah, I hope that you liked this video. If you did, make sure to give me a thumbs up and I'll make more videos like this. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can be part of the fam. And make sure to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of every time I upload a video. And thanks, friends. I'll see you in the next one. Happy making!